A new Master Duel ban list is here. It is now time to analyze the changes. We're also running a tournament this Sunday on twitch.tv/dcade with the new ban list. All the unlimits, restrictions, anything that happens in the ban list, we'll be running it live that day. And we're going to be leaking the big April pack reveal. We're going to be showing you, I will be showing you why the next pack is so good. So find out that and more on this Sunday. And we also did a ban list prediction, which we posted the day of the ban list announcement. We predicted that the Unicorn Engine Kashtira would get hit because a lot of top decks are splashing it. I then also predicted that Snake Eyes would get hit and also that Labyrinth would get hit. And yes, this is a 36-minute video for just 3 predictions, but that's generally how these ban lists are, in addition to a bunch of unlimits, which we did talk about, but we didn't want to add them because they're way too unpredictable to narrow down exactly what they could do. Now, it is time. Boom. All right. Let's see what is good. Armageddon Knight from 1 to 3. On summon, send a dark monster from the deck to the grave. Okay, and it's already at 3 in OCG, so I'm guessing it didn't really do much over there, and that told them it's okay to unlimit it in Master Duel. Let's see the data on this card to see who's been using this. Orchist, okay, Cyberstein, when that was legal, it was also using this, so we got some deck lists here, okay. And because it's been at 3 in OCG, we'll soon have a Yu-Gi-Oh! Meta button to go straight to the website, but until then, let's go right to it ourselves, and we'll type in Armageddon Knight. And let's see if it's doing anything in OCG. So click on OCG stats here. Orchist, playing it at 3. Okay, and Thunder Dragon at 3? That is in, I was just saying, the normal summon, making it not that big of a deal going at 3, but apparently, even though it's mostly normal summon, it's still going to be pretty good. Let's click on OCG decks here. Okay. Thunder Dragon at 3. All right. Okay, then congratulations. If you're an Orcus or Thunder Dragon player, you can now normal summon your 1 of 3 Armageddon Knights much more consistently to get popping off. And what is this? Okay, this is Armageddon at 1. They're not using it more than 3. So, okay, congratulations to Thunder Dragon and Orcus players. Let's go back on over to the ban list. What else do we have here? Purely Pretty Memory. Okay. This went from 3 to 2 quite recently, actually. I mean, this came out in September. It got hit afterward, which would have to be at least 2 to 3 months. This is a really quick take back of a restriction that they did. And I think that's quite unprecedented here, right? For something to be hit then unhit this quickly. Wow, okay. And what we should say about that is for Purely, I think this is the way of Konami telling you that they have not forgotten about Purely players. And why am I even saying that? Well, because Purely players have been patiently waiting for Purely Nor. It's been a long time. They've been waiting since, I think even October and afterward. At any moment, the Purely Nor could have come out. And this is the new best starter for the deck. They go straight for this card, which then will activate to set the Purely Leap from the deck, and then that's how they're going to summon their main boss monster, the X Purely Nor, during the next turn, and probably against your turn because you're maybe not playing this deck. And what I do want to say also about this is, when did Nor come out in the TCG with the other cards here? Let's see that. Click on Purely. Let's see how long you've been waiting. And then I'm also going to reveal something to you. Lily came out May 3rd, 2023, and then the Purely Nor came out in July 2023. About 2 months later, they had their Nor. Yet in Master Duel, we've been waiting since September for the Nor. So is this Konami leaking that the Purely Nor is coming out in 2 weeks in the April pack? No, it's not coming. Okay, so there you go. I did leak this on my last Twitch stream, so if you hop on over to the Twitch streams, you will get some extra information on leaks that I don't really think is noteworthy enough to make an entire video about, like, hey, whole video, Nor's not coming. Well, now you know, toss in this video, not coming in the April pack. If you're a Purely enjoyer like myself, I'm sorry. Let's go to some other leaks. What do we have here? Cards be semi-limited. Okay, those are all the unlimits. I feel like they could have done a lot more, no? Wagon. From 3 to 2. Okay. So I said in my banlist prediction video that if Superheavy Samurai were to get hit, that it would have been the, I can't find it in the scroll, that it would have, okay, I think right here, I said that Soul Piercer or the Motorbike would be the cards to be hit if they were to be hit. And I'm actually surprised that the deck got hit, kind of, but actually not really, because if we go on over to the top decks page and check out tournaments and Duelist Cup, it is actually a top 3 deck of the Duelist Cup. It did incredibly well. So I guess not enough people were main deck in their Drill and Lockbirds to lock them out and just straight up win the game. So good job on that. And Piercer is a card that's limited to 1 in the OCG. So that was even more giving me reason on why this would be the card to hit. But I think that this would be the card to hit if this deck was doing better than it was. Because since it's been hit in the OCG, I don't think that the deck's been doing that well at all. Let's see, actually. If we go on over to Yu-Gi-Oh! Meta, look on the tier list here, click OCG. We'll do last 3 months. And super heavy, super, all the way down here. So with the Piercer hit, I think maybe that was too harsh on the deck, right? As you can see, the deck's pretty much at full power outside the Piercer going to 1, and you can consider Block Dragon being a hit for the deck too. So they still have Scarecrow, unlike TCG. So, okay, nice. They get to show that they're showing some remorse on overhitting the deck in OCG, and they're not going to do the same thing in Master Duel. And just the wagon getting hit, that's not that big of a deal. The Piercer is definitely better. If this one copy gets banished randomly through a Runic card or through, let's say, a DD Crow or some other interaction, that really hurts. So very nice. Good job, Super Heavy Samurai players. You didn't get hit as much as you could have. Let's see some more changes. Okay. We have Nadir Servants. No. Why? This is not a good hit. From 3 to 2, I was just talking about the Pretty Memory was hit, then unhit. This is the opposite. This was recently unlimited. This went from 2. First, it went from 1 to 2, then 2 to 3. Then they released Dogmatica, or I think Dogmatica may have been released before it went to 3. And then what happened from there is that branded players started using it and abusing this, but then branded players started taking it out a little bit because the branded deck got hit even more. But then Labyrinth started using this. So, oh my God, let's just bring up the stats real quick. I cannot believe the collateral damage here. I think that when Konami does a ban list, they should restrict collateral damage as much as possible. This is not good for Dogmatica players. And you may be thinking, who's a Dogmatica player? There's enough of them out there. I even got, well, I'm not gonna be blamed for this. Gia was interested in Albazoa, so I was like, all right, you know what? Build the deck. It'll be a fun deck. It's not top tier, obviously, but I think you could have some fun with the deck. And now Gia's deck is hit for no freaking reason. Well, there's a reason, but you could have hit the other decks through other ways outside of hitting a rogue deck. Ain't no way. Look, all their decks are now illegal. Oh my gosh. The rogue deck enjoyers. I cannot believe they did this to you. And to be fair, though, this card is painful to balance. It's going to send an extra deck monster to the grave, any extra deck monster. Maybe if it were restricted to a Fallen of Albaz type monster to send from the extra deck, then it would be more balanced. So I do think Konami definitely regrets the initial balancing on this card. And there's also something worth noting here. Let's see the card here again. As you can see, Labyrinth, 43%. Branded Despia, 41%. What's funny about Labyrinth using this is we joked about another card getting hit because of Labyrinth, and it kind of had something to do with Nadir Servant. So we go on the top decks here, tournaments, click on Duelist Cup. We type in Kit Kalos. What is up with that? Why am I searching that? Labyrinth used Kit Kalos more than tier limit. Why? What the heck? Kit Kalos, when sent from the action X to the grave through Nadir Servant, mills 5. And Labyrinth has a ton of cards that wants to be milled in the graveyard. So a ton of tournament players have been abusing this. And as you can see here, even in the Duelist Cup, they were also using it. And overall in tournaments, a lot of players were using Kit Kalos more than tier limit. Or, to be fair, 100% of tier limit are using it. Not 100% of Labyrinth were using it. But it's just, it was more represented through Labyrinth than tier limit. That's the point. And it was because of Nadir Servant Servant, and also the pop card is another reason. The Trap Nadir Dogmatica Punishment, that is another way they were getting Kid Callus in the graveyard. But Nadir Servant was the main way, and I can't believe it. I'm so sorry if you're a Dogmatica player. Yeah, I guess this was the Labyrinth hit instead of Big Welcome, but maybe they're going to be doing more. Maybe Big Welcome could still get hit, but if that's the only hit, not cool. Let's keep on going. By the way, I have nothing against Labyrinth. I do enjoy the deck myself. I have a good video guide on how to play the deck. It's just, I thought that was the healthier way to hit the deck, and the deck would still be pretty damn good. Let's keep on going. Let's go. Unicorn from 3 to 2. Now, to be fair, I was predicting it to go to 1, not 2, and Konami's like, okay, we'll meet you halfway. It is already limited at 1 in OCG, and by the way, in OCG, Fenrir is banned, straight up gone, deleted from the game, and Unicorn going to 2. A lot of decks are using and abusing this. We bring up the stats on this. We have Snake Eye. A lot of them are. It says 21% here, but if we bring up the analytics, which it may spoil me on the ban list, I don't want to do that. We could do that later on further discussing. Kashtira, I'm so sorry. Oh my gosh. And Monadium was loving it. Tearlament, okay, a little bit of Vanquished Soul. So I think this is not really a hit on Kashtira itself. It's a hit on Snake Eye. And through this lens, that kind of sucks, right? And you could make the argument of, oh, well, they bounce around the Duelist Cup. And my response to you would be, should they do that? Should they instead balance around the larger player base instead of the small percent that is the Duelist Cup? And you could argue that the Duelist Cup would then push the majority player base to switch playing the card at 3. Possibly, we could say that, but that did not happen yet. So were they preventing a future problem or what? Because again, collateral damage here, even if you don't like Kashtira, they did not deserve this hit. This hit was for Snake Eye, 100%. That is why. So again, is Konami doing a good idea by doing that proactively, reactively to a DC Cup instead of it actually becoming a problem? And yeah, we'll look at the tournament data also. Even that is a small percent of the player base. This represents a lot more of a larger piece of the pie of people playing the game, not the tryhards in the Duelist Cup that are going to switch to whatever is the new best meta deck, and then you leave Kashtira players and anyone else that enjoyed the card at 3 with their deck neutered, just like Dogmatica, like completely uncalled for. What is going on, Konami? I think you got to do a better job with these ban lists. Let's keep on going. Oh, I do want to say, though, that why this is so good, even without using Theosis, this is crazy. Let me tell you this, because of, I could even say, so while this is a nerf because of Snake Eye, it also, in a way, helps Snake Eye because this card countered Snake Eye. You would Unicorn, summon, search Birth, and then you would send this to the graveyard, let's say a Link, and then you'd reborn it back on the field. Now, what's so good about this is, if the opponent activates a monster effect, you now get to look at the extra deck and banish a card, which a lot of tournament players started playing double Promethean Princess because this would then banish the Promethean Princess. And then in the mirror match, if they activate a spell card, the Birth effect of banishing 3 cards from the opponent's graveyard face down, that is massive. Anti-graveyard, anti-extra deck, and it's 2 bodies on the field because it's a free special summon, then reborns for further synchroing, exceeding, or linking. It did a lot, even if without Fenrir. A lot of people are also playing at 3, even without Fenrir. They're just 3 and wait. Oh my gosh, I spoiled myself. Birth was at 1. It's Birth is at 2. What is them? This is them saying sorry. They're like, okay, I'm sorry, Kashtira players. We didn't mean to hit you because of Snake Eye. We'll give you back Birth at 2. Is that a fair trade? No, it's not. Birth is not a combo starter. Unicorn is. So Kashtira just got nerfed. And if you hate a Rise Heart, maybe you're cheering. But wow, not cool in a way. Geez, what the heck is going on? Let's keep on going. That's the problem with Kashtira inherently when it was created, is that they made it too techable. They didn't put enough restrictions on the card. They need to do that. I know it could be an easy trap to get excited for new cards with not a lot of restrictions on them because you want the cards to be good. But then look what Konami's doing. People get tied to a certain deck type, a play style. It almost becomes their identity within Yu-Gi-Oh! And then they have to hit it because, look at that, 2 cards in a row. Nadir Servant, not hit because the main deck it's used in, well, the main deck it's supposed to be used in, Dogmatica. And then again, also, Unicorn, hit because of other decks. Other decks, Konami, better restrict, or even maybe, I think you all would be for this. Let me know. Errata. Be more open to doing erratas. I know erratas are super rare, which they did recently on a ban list for OCG, but maybe add some sort of errata on Servant, errata on Unicorn. Maybe the errata should just be in Master Duel. I don't know if that'd be too complicated or convoluted. I don't know. You tell me what you think the better solution is. Maybe inherently at the start of the creation of the card, they should just better balance it. Maybe that. All right, let's keep on going. I know I'm going off the rails here. Birth, yeah. Whoa, wow, 1 to 2. Yeah, okay. Yeah, this is to make up for Unicorn, but it does not make up for it. Kind of, sus. Let's keep on going. Cards will be limited, so that's it for semi-limits. Wait, okay, just Birth is the only on limit from 1 to 2. This is not a lot of cards, unless a card gets unbanned. This was not a lot of unlimits. And there is a lot of cards due for unlimits. So I don't know if Konami's just spreading them out to make ban lists seem more impactful than they are, but I don't know. Let's keep on going. Performapal, Rainbow Magician from 3 to 1. If you have no idea what this card is, just know that if we use the filter here, we type in Floodgate, all right? Floodgate, we do a pretty good job at updating this. Let's keep on scrolling. These are the most popular floodgates. Where is it? Where is it? All the way down here. It is not that popular, but it is really toxic. So even though it's below all these other cards, I can agree, or I could be happy about this card getting hit. But, you know, Scythe is also a card that's not really being used as much. Should they have banned it? Well, if we look at the analytics on the Performapal 5 Rainbow Magician, this is, again, Konami reacting to the Duelist Cup. Look at that. Duelist Cup, Duelist Cup, Duelist Cup. In fact, you're looking at the first place Duelist Cup deck right here, where it played 2 copies of the main deck. So I don't know. Konami really just reacting to the Duelist Cup results here. And I don't think they're putting that much thought into it. I'm not bummed out about this getting hit. This is a good hit, but it's really giving further insight into how these ban lists are created. I guess just combing through the Duelist Cup deck list is going to be the best way to predict a ban list, because that's exactly what they're doing. They're just reacting to what happened to the Duelist Cup, and let's just do whatever happened there and then call it a day. And as you can see, the first place deck, Labyrinth, didn't even play Nadir Servant, but then all these other ones did play Nadir Servant. Let's keep on going. All right. And also, Branded Despy was also using this because for some reason, a crazy reason, this card, it returns itself from the graveyard onto the field if you set a back row card. So if either player sets a spell/trap on your field while this is in the graveyard, sent there through Branded Fusion, you place this in the Pendulum Zone, and then if your opponent has 0 cards set, all monsters they control cannot attack or activate their effects. So if you're playing something like Labyrinth, you could use your Lovely to pop their back row when they want to attack or activate their monster effects. So, you know, really a nasty floodgate. Also, a very good counter and a response probably added in towards the end of the Duelist Cup against Super Heavy Samurai. Super Heavy Samurai has a really difficult way to out this because they don't play spell or trap cards to set onto the field. So I do think, in a way, this is a buff for Super Heavy Samurai. While Super Heavy Samurai got hit, this also helps out the deck more because this was one of the main ways to counter it. All right, let's keep on going. Now, despite that, Super Heavy Samurai does have a way to out this. It's just an uncommon way, and we'll talk about that another day. Wait, huh? That's it? Full changes? Why was I expecting more? Wait. Snake Eye, the best deck, did not get to... We know that the Snake Eye cards themselves inherently could not get hit because they're still in the shop, but wow, I thought that they would at least snipe 1 for 1. If you're a deck that plays 1 for 1 and you're not Snake Eyes, it's not that I want to hurt you and your deck. It's just what Konami's been doing. That's why I predicted it. maybe they got someone new on the staff to do the ban list changes, and they were just like, okay, I'm just going to wait for the Duels Cup to happen, and then we're going to restrict based off that completely, because that's what this ban list looks like to me. That is wild. And let's see the unicorn data that I wanted to show you earlier without, which was supposed to not spoil us, which didn't even matter. We click on tournaments only here. We can see that even within tournaments, it was being used at 40%. And another thing to see here, a lot of them. So the majority were playing unicorn, but at 2 to 3, 29% playing it at 2, 40% at 3. So this 40% at 3 was really enough to hit unicorn. That was the big reason. You know, we could say maybe you look at that. Oh, lots of Duels Cup, like pretty much all of them are using it. This is included in the tournament only data here. If we go on over to the top decks page and we click on Duels Cup, we could do something special. We could type in the asterisk here. We type in unicorn. I should type in Kashtira because of the other unicorn. Unicorn and then asterisk 3. So we see that there are 11 of them playing it. And then if I take it away, Snake Eye, okay, 11 out of 14 of the Duels Cup decks that we have here were playing Unicorn at 3. So that was definitely very popular. I do think we have the top 10 separated from the Duels Cup. I think maybe maybe it's okay that way. You tell me. And same thing. So 5 Snake Eye decks ready. 4 of them, 4 out of the 5 are playing Unicorn at 3. And if Konami is reacting to, while a lot of tournament decks the majority were playing Unicorn within the tournament data we already had, it's still, this really shows that they are just looking at the Duels Cup and going, oh, okay, they're all playing Unicorn at 3, let's hit them. Don't worry about the Kashtira players, though, which very few amount were even did well enough to top the event. Wow, congratulations to these players doing well. Sorry for your deck getting hit. That's interesting. And what else is there to say here? We pretty much talked about everything else. Let's see what the reactions are here. BANLIST like a joke as usual. It's worse than usual. This is beyond hilarious. Smash to 2 meme didn't even become true. And Super Heavy Samurai is out of the shop, but basically got an unpleasant rub on the wrist. That's what I would say, a slap on the wrist. Oh, and Nadir, the old card, gets hit because Lab is getting a new card. Yeah, so my leaks have been giving more context to maybe this hit is that Labyrinth is getting new support. They're also going to be using Unchained. A lot of them did use Unchained in the TCG deck list, tournament topping ones. And then they're also getting Arius. Arius was another leak. So yeah, maybe that's the thing. And I think this video has been long enough. I appreciate you all very much. The big leak will be on this Sunday. Plus, we're going to be having a tournament with this crazy big new meta-changing ban list. That's really not going to change much, but we're going to have a big leak and some good tournament gameplay. So make sure you show up to that. I appreciate you all for watching. Thank you very much. We are out.